And Brakta Yahweh Brakatha, Yahosha, Brakta Yahweh Brakatha, Yahosha Bashem, Rakakwadash, double honor to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching and truth, and in sincerity, this lesson will be entitled An Unknown Gravesite. Lord, will you are edified. My source, Newsbreak contributor. Article entitled The Only Human to Be Buried on the Moon. The moon has become humanity's second home, taking into consideration how many people had the honor to walk on Earth's natural satellite. Despite what sorts of life people live, they always end up resting for eternity on Earth. Yet, there is one exception. Most people are not aware, but since 1999, and if you can receive this in the spirit, this is 666 in another format. The moon has been the graveyard for a human named Eugene Shoemaker. Dr. Shoemaker has been acknowledged throughout the 20th century as a prolific astrologist that has worked for NASA from the 1960s until he passed away. Dr. Shoemaker became quite famous in 94 when a comet that crashed on Jupiter that year received his name, Shoemaker-Levy Comet. He and his associate, David Levy, were actually the first and, at the moment, the only people to witness with their own eyes a planetary collision. Besides this outstanding achievement, Dr. Shoemaker helped to create the field of planetary science through the use of his geology discipline combined with his astronomical knowledge. Dr. Shoemaker's long life dream was to one day reach the moon, but he never had the chance. On July 18, 1997, he sadly passed away in a car accident. His close work colleague, David Levy, knew that he deserved to go to the moon, so he planned to work with NASA to find a way to send his corpse to the moon. NASA agreed to the plan as they wanted to show their appreciation for all the work Dr. Shoemaker did for them. His corpse was cremated, making it much easier to transport him to the moon. The only issue was finding a rocket to send him to the moon. NASA decided to use the rocket for an upcoming mission, which was the Lunar Prospector mission. As the Lunar Prospector would pass the moon, the rocket was able to launch Dr. Shoemaker's ashes. The capsule in which his ashes were placed was created by a company called Celestis, which offers services of sending dead people into space, but not on other planets. The outside of the capsule was marked with his name, his date of birth, and dates of death, as well as a picture of him training astronauts on a geology field trip, the same picture you can see above. On January 6, 1998, the Lunar Prospector rocket was launched, and on July 31st, 1999, the capsule containing Dr. Shoemaker's ashes crashed on the moon, burying Eugene Shoemaker in his eternal resting place on the moon. Again, article entitled The Only Human to Be Buried on the Moon, Making the Moon an Unknown Gravesite, up until this article, which is bullshit, okay? First, You have a creation by Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, called the Van Allen radiation belt. What is the role of the Van Allen belts? The Van Allen belts are massive donut-shaped rings of radiation that encircle Earth, extending up to 58,000 kilometers into space. In a nutshell, Esau cannot get through this Van Allen belt. Okay? So there's no way he ever went to the moon. All right? And secondly, the moon is a light, right? Have you ever tried to touch a light bulb? So let's go to Genesis, the first chapter. And the Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament," right, "of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Verse 15, "And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light on the earth." And it was so. And the Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, hence the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, hence the moon. He made the stars also. And the Elohim set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night. And the moon rules over the night, and the sun rules over the day. However, both sun and moon are lights, right? And to divide the light from the darkness. And the Elohim saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Two issues he saw. You can't go beyond the Van Allen belts. Secondly, the moon is a light. Okay? Again, the moon is a light. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 43. And verse 6. Let's start at verse 5. "Great is the Lord that made it, and at his commandment run hastily," right? Referring to the sun. Verse 6. "He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feasts, a light that decrees in her perfection." Now, this is the duties of the moon. All right? And Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, created the moon. Yahweh created the moon by the hand of Yahweh Shah. Right? Verse 8. "The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches." And you can equate the moon which is a celestial being, always doing the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And we just read the duties of the moon. Again, Genesis 1:16. And the lesser light to rule the night, he made the stars also. So if the moon is a light created by Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, how can Esau declare it as an unknown gravesite, an unknown graveyard? Or how can he say he walked on the moon, however the moon is a light? It can only mean one thing. Last precept. Let's go to Job 13 and verse 4. But ye, you, y'all, referring to the Edomites, beginning with the nobility of Edom, so-called white men, based on the lineage of their fathers that control the entire earth, referring to the international bankers, beginning with the Rothschilds. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. A physician that cannot heal has no value, right? A physician's role is to heal you. If that physician cannot heal you, that physician has no value. But ye are forgers of lies. When we focus on forgers, Strong's H 2950 pronounced as ta-pa-la, right? And straight to the point, according to the Strong's definitions, meaning to impute falsely, to account falsely, such as saying Eugene Shoemaker is buried on the moon, or Neil Armstrong went to the moon, which never happened. First, they can't go beyond the Van Allen belt, and second, the moon is a light, which makes them what? Liars, right? And according to the scriptures, they impute or they account falsely. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Again, that precept was Job 13 and 4. Lord will you were edified. Shalom.